education. Imagine being able to provide healthcare information or educational resources in people's native languages.
It's about breaking down barriers and making technology more inclusive. Okay, I have to ask, what else is India doing in the realm of science and technology?
Well, there's the space docking experiment, which is a major step towards India's ambitions in space exploration. They successfully docked two spacecraft together in orbit, a complex maneuver that requires incredible precision.
It seems like docking is a crucial technology for building space stations and carrying out more ambitious missions.
It is, absolutely. And then there's the unified genomic chip for livestock.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah, this is fascinating. It's designed for genomic profiling of Indian cattle breeds.
So it's like having a detailed genetic map of their cows.
Yeah, pretty much. It allows scientists to identify desirable traits like milk production, disease resistance, and adaptability to different climates.
Okay.
And then this information can be used to improve breeding programs and enhance the overall productivity of India's livestock sector.
That's a really clever application of technology. It's about using science to address real-world challenges.
Exactly. And it highlights how India is leveraging technology to improve food security and boost their agricultural sector, which, by the way, leads us nicely into the next section, economics.
Ah, economics.
Yeah.
The land of graphs and statistics, ready to dive into the numbers.
Always. Though, to be fair, this magazine does a pretty good job of presenting economic information in a way that's actually quite engaging.
I agree. It doesn't feel like a dry textbook. For instance, it talked about the World Bank's new Be Ready Index, which we touched upon earlier.
Right. And even though India wasn't included in this year's Be Ready Index, it's still super relevant for them. It shows that attracting investment and achieving sustainable economic growth requires more than just making it easy to start a business.
So what are the key takeaways for India from this index?
Well, it emphasizes the importance of things like efficient regulations, a reliable legal framework, and strong institutions. It's about creating a level playing field for businesses to compete and thrive.
That makes sense. It's not enough to just open the doors. You need to create an environment where businesses can actually grow and flourish.
Exactly. And that's something that, India is actively working on.
Now, this magazine also dives into some uniquely Indian economic challenges. It talks about the persistence of dwarf firms and the multi-plant phenomenon, which we discussed earlier. These are those businesses that never seem to grow beyond a certain size, and those big companies that operate multiple small plants instead of consolidating.
Right, right. These are fascinating insights into the structure of India's manufacturing sector. The question is, do these smaller firms and multiple plants hinder efficiency and economies of scale?
Right. It seems like there's a debate about whether India needs to focus on consolidating its manufacturing base or finding ways to make these smaller operations more competitive.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but it's definitely a conversation that's happening at the highest levels of government and industry.
This magazine also talks about the concept of responsible capitalism, which seems to be gaining momentum worldwide.
It is. It's about recognizing that businesses have a responsibility not just to their shareholders, but to society and the environment as well.
So it's about moving beyond just profit and considering the broader impact of business decisions.
Exactly. It's about creating a more sustainable and ethical approach to business. And it's really encouraging to see this conversation taking place in India as well as globally.
It definitely feels like there's a growing awareness of the need to balance economic growth with social and environmental responsibility. Now, the magazine also tackles the issue of poverty, which is a complex and persistent challenge for India.
Yeah, and it emphasizes that we need to move beyond just looking at the number of people living below the poverty line. We need to understand the depth and breadth of poverty and use different metrics like the poverty gap and the multidimensional poverty index to get a more complete picture.
It's about recognizing that poverty isn't just about income. It's about access to things like education, healthcare, and a decent standard of living.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that economic growth doesn't automatically translate into shared prosperity. We need policies and programs that specifically target poverty and inequality.
Okay, so we've gone from these global trends to the nuances of the Indian economy. What's next on our deep dive agenda?
How about we explore the vibrant world of Indian culture?
Sounds good to me.
This magazine highlights a recent decision by the Indian government to grant classical language status to several more languages.
That's fascinating. I didn't even realize there was such a thing as classical language status.
There is. It's a way of recognizing languages that have a rich literary tradition, a long history, and a distinct grammatical structure. In India, Languages like Sanskrit, Tamil, and Telugu already have this status.
So which languages were recently added to the list?
They've included Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese, and Bengali. This recognition brings various benefits, including increased funding for research and education and the establishment of dedicated study centers.
It's wonderful to see these languages being celebrated and preserved.
It's about recognizing the incredible linguistic diversity of India and the importance of safeguarding its cultural heritage.
The magazine also features a discussion about how justice is represented in India. They talk about a new statue of Lady Justice that's been unveiled.
Yes, and this statue is quite interesting because it departs from the traditional Western imagery. Instead of holding a sword, this Lady Justice holds the Indian Constitution, and instead of being blindfolded, her eyes are wide open.
That's a powerful statement. What's the significance of these changes?
Well, it's a move towards decolonizing the visual representation of justice and making it more relatable to the Indian context. The open eyes symbolize awareness and impartiality, while the Constitution emphasizes the supremacy of law and the values enshrined within it.
It's really about reclaiming their own narrative and defining justice on their own terms.
Exactly. It's a conversation that's happening in many countries as they grapple with their colonial past and strive to create a more inclusive and representative present.
This magazine seems to cover all the bases. It's like a crash course in everything you need to know to be a well-informed citizen.
It really is. And speaking of well-informed citizens, the next section focuses on the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi.
Ah, Gandhi. His philosophy of nonviolence and his commitment to social justice continue to inspire people all over the world.
Absolutely. The magazine highlights Gandhi's key values: truth, nonviolence, self-reliance, and simplicity, and how they remain relevant in today's world.
It's amazing how his teachings continue to resonate, even decades after his passing.
It's a testament to the enduring power of his ideas. And it's not just about these historical figures. The magazine also profiles Ratan Tata, a prominent Indian industrialist and philanthropist who embodies many of Gandhi's principles.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's known for his ethical business practices and his extensive philanthropic work.
Exactly. Tata is a role model for ethical leadership and responsible capitalism. He's someone who has consistently demonstrated a commitment to social good and the betterment of society.
His story is truly inspiring. It shows that you can be successful in business while also making a positive impact on the world. Okay, we've covered culture, history, and even a bit of philosophy. What's next?
Let's delve into the world of Indian agriculture.
Agriculture, the backbone of the Indian economy.
Exactly. And this magazine highlights a recent decision by the Indian government to consolidate several agricultural schemes into two main programs.
That sounds like a pretty major shift.
Yeah.
What are these two programs?
They're called the PM Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, PMRKVY, and the Krishnadi Yojana, KY.
Okay, those names are a mouthful. Can you break down what each program aims to achieve?
Of course. The PMRKVY focuses on promoting sustainable agriculture. It includes things like soil health management, developing rain-fed areas, agroforestry, and supporting agricultural mechanization.
So it's about taking a holistic approach to agricultural development, considering both the environment and the needs of farmers.
Exactly. It's about ensuring the long-term viability and resilience of the agricultural sector. The Krishnadi Yojana, on the other hand, is more focused on food security and increasing agricultural production.
That makes sense. India has a huge population to feed, so food security is always a top priority.
It is, and the Krishnadi Yojana aims to achieve this through various initiatives, including improving market linkages, empowering farmers with new skills and technologies, and creating a more supportive policy environment.
It sounds like these two programs complement each other, with one focused on sustainability and the other on production.
You've got it. Together, they represent a comprehensive approach to strengthening India's agricultural sector and ensuring food security for its growing population.
This magazine is like a masterclass in current affairs. It's giving us insights into so many different aspects of life in India.
It really is. And speaking of important issues, the next section focuses on mental health, particularly among adolescents.
That's a topic that's often overlooked, but it's so crucial, especially in today's fast-paced world.
Absolutely. The magazine discusses the unique challenges that adolescents face, from academic pressure to social media influence, and the importance of early intervention and access to mental health services.
It's so important to break down the stigma surrounding mental health and create a supportive environment where young people feel comfortable seeking help.
I couldn't agree more. It's about recognizing that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that it's okay to not be okay sometimes.
This conversation is reminding me of how interconnected everything is, from the global economy to individual well-being. It's all part of a larger tapestry.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Ah.
And speaking of interconnectedness, let's turn our attention to a global issue with profound implications for India: hunger.
Hunger is such a complex issue with so many contributing factors.
It is, and the magazine discusses the Global Hunger Index, which provides a stark reminder of the extent of hunger around the world, including in India.
It's heartbreaking to think that in this day and age, so many people still struggle to get enough to eat.
It is, and it highlights the urgent need to address issues like conflict, climate change, poverty, and inequality, all of which contribute to the hunger crisis.
It's a reminder that we can't just focus on economic growth. We need to ensure that growth is inclusive and benefits everyone.
Precisely. Sustainable development requires a holistic approach that considers the well-being of all people and the planet.
Speaking of well-being, the magazine also dives into healthcare in India, specifically examining the National Health Accounts estimates. What did you find interesting in that section?
Well, one encouraging trend is the increase in government health expenditure as a percentage of GDP. This suggests a growing commitment to investing in healthcare infrastructure and services.
That's good news. Access to affordable healthcare is crucial for any society.
Absolutely. However, the magazine also points out that out-of-pocket expenditures for healthcare remain high in India. This means that many people still face significant financial burdens when they need medical care.
It highlights the need for more comprehensive health insurance coverage and a greater focus on making healthcare more accessible and affordable for everyone.
Exactly. It's a work in progress, but the increased government spending is definitely a step in the right direction.
The magazine also mentions the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, ABDM. What's that all about?
The ABDM is a really exciting initiative that aims to leverage technology to improve healthcare delivery in India. It's about creating a digital health ecosystem that connects patients, doctors, hospitals, and insurance providers.
So it's about using technology to make healthcare more efficient, transparent, and patient-centric.
Exactly. It has the potential to revolutionize how healthcare is accessed and delivered, especially in rural and underserved areas.
I'm really impressed with the breadth of topics this magazine covers.
Yeah.
We've gone from agriculture to healthcare, and now we're moving into the realm of security.
Indeed. And this section highlights the evolving landscape of security threats and India's efforts to strengthen its defense capabilities.
One of the key areas of focus is the use of artificial intelligence, AI, in defense, which is something we're seeing globally.
Yes, AI is rapidly transforming military operations worldwide. It has the potential to enhance situational awareness, improve decision-making, and increase efficiency.
But there are also concerns about the ethical implications of using AI in warfare.
Absolutely. The magazine acknowledges the potential risks of autonomous weapons systems and the importance of ensuring that AI is used responsibly and ethically.
It's a reminder that technological advancements always come with these ethical considerations.
Exactly. We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and deploy these technologies, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as national security.
The magazine also highlights India's efforts to promote innovation in defense technology.
Yeah, they've got initiatives like the Innovations for Defense Excellence (IDEX) scheme, which encourages startups and other innovators to develop cutting-edge technologies for the defense sector.
It's about fostering indigenous innovation and reducing reliance on foreign suppliers.
Exactly. It's a strategic move to strengthen India's self-reliance in the defense sector.
Okay, we've gone from AI-powered proteins to AI-powered defense systems. This magazine is giving us a whirlwind tour of the 21st century. What other areas do they cover?
Well, we can't forget about the environment. This issue provides a comprehensive overview of environmental challenges and India's efforts to address them.
One of the key areas of focus is water management, which we discussed earlier.
Right. The magazine emphasizes the importance of water reuse and recycling, especially in urban areas, and highlights initiatives like the Jal Hi Amrit program under AM 2.0.
It's a reminder that water scarcity is a growing global issue and that we all need to find ways to use this precious resource more sustainably.
Absolutely. And it's not just about water. The magazine also delves into issues like air pollution, biodiversity conservation, and the impacts of climate change.
It's a reminder that environmental challenges are all interconnected and require a holistic approach. What I really appreciate about this magazine is that it doesn't just present the problems, it also highlights solutions and these positive developments.
That's a good point. It definitely offers a balanced perspective, acknowledging the challenges, but also showcasing the progress being made.
This next section is particularly relevant for anyone interested in social justice. The magazine shines a light on the challenges faced by marginalized communities in India.
Yes. It discusses issues like gender inequality, child labor,